Hi, and welcome to the Riffs and Peoples video series, a series where I discuss how I developed my original character art styles. In this video in particular, we'll be going over the very first letter of our acronym R, reference. Now, reference can be understood as a guideline or a source of inspiration whose attributes can be utilized, understood, and synthesized into an original piece of work. Pretty much every great inventor or creator on Earth refers to something or other in order to make something new or groundbreaking. And references can come in many different forms. References can come in the form of the written word, and it can also come in the form of pictures, like so. Now, references have been an important part of the traditional art world since time immemorial. When you go to like a serious art school, they'll probably have you do some classes where you look at a bowl of fruit or stare at some naked person awkwardly, and they'll tell you to draw them from life. And well, this is basically the same thing as using references. Essentially, you're attempting to study something you see and render it into a medium like a painting or a sketch. This use of reference is merely transference, and our video series isn't just about simple transference, but the novel creations of original artworks and styles using reference. So how do we use references in the creation of our own original artwork? Well, in order to really effectively use our reference for our own art, we must both dissect and understand our reference and synthesize that understanding into an original outcome. So here I've laid out 3 character references that I think represent the words cute, cool, and nerdy. To begin dissecting these references, we need to ask ourselves, why and how do these images evoke cuteness, coolness, and nerdiness? This will mean going over each part of the character and making a note of the features or details that make it feel cute, cool, or nerdy to you. Like, does the big eyes make the cute character cute? Do the sharp angles make the cool character cool? Or do the square glasses make the nerdy character feel nerdy? So once we have dissected our reference, our next step would be synthesis. This means taking our understanding of what made our references cute and what we liked about them and synthesizing it into our original cute character. And our process of synthesis only improves when we increase something called our visual vocabulary. Basically, visual vocabulary is our personal artistic lexicon and knowledge of images and references as a whole and how these things were applied in previous works. One way to think of growing our visual vocabulary reference is like a baby's understanding of the language versus a full-grown adult. Like a baby needs to grow and be exposed to more words to become an adult, so too do you as an artist need to seek references to add to your commandment of the artistic language. Another way to think of your commandment and usage of your visual vocabulary of reference is to think of how a pedestrian uses language versus a wordsmith. A pedestrian uses his limited understanding of language in only so many ways, but for a wordsmith, the ways to use language are endless and they convey different messages with different tones. You need to understand your visual references at the level of a wordsmith to truly be a master of the artistic language. So how does one go from baby to full-grown adult, or from pedestrian to wordsmith? Well, there's one word for this. It's exposure. And basically, the more you are around, the more you accumulate knowledge of images and ideas, the more you will be able to expand and express your visual vocabulary in a way that is useful for you as an artist. Now, here are a couple of things, though definitely not exhaustive, that you can do to expose yourself to new images and ideas and expand your visual vocabulary. You can search on the internet for things specifically for your projects on sites like Pinterest and gather them into boards. You can search YouTube for tutorials and videos of artists performing techniques on types of styles you want to infuse into your own work and store them for usage. You can even take images you find online and make notes between them and store them for later use as you design your own work. And there are several ways you can create your own vocabulary references from your own work. These are things like model sheets you've made for your characters to ensure you draw them consistently. Or things like style guides you've made up to showcase how to develop or create something in a style you want for your work. Well, that's about all I wanted to showcase in our anagram riffs and peoples, please. And I hope I went over some topics that were helpful to you. In our next video, we will be going over F form and T tone. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.